So again, last Friday we talked about slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Y has to be by itself. So on the back we're going to learn a new step. So again, up here I want to write y equals mx plus b. So in order for us to identify our slope and y-intercept, flip over your paper and write this down. In order for us to identify our slope and y-intercept, our equation has to look like this. Y has to be by itself. That's the only way we can tell what our slope is. It's the only way we can tell what our y-intercept is. How do you already have something down?
I have it written down.
Okay.
You told me to write this.
I told you to write that there?
Yeah. That's what I had a copy on the board, and you told me to write it.
No.
That was a different page.
Alright, so we have 2x plus y is equal to 3. On this 2x plus y is equal to 3, do we have a y by ourselves?
Yes.
So y is over here on the left side. What's over here on the left side with it?
X.
Guys, what's on the left side? 2x. Okay, so we have this 2x plus y is equal to 3. We don't have y is equal to something x plus 3. Meaning we have to rearrange this equation so that way it's in slope-intercept form. Okay? So when we're rearranging this equation, we're having to use those equation skills that I told you we were going to keep using the rest of the year that some of y'all didn't believe me with. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and draw my line. If I want to move this 2x to the other side of the equation to get y by itself, we have to subtract 2x.
But wait, how would you subtract?
Guys, hang on. Y'all are having good questions, but hang on. All right, 2x minus 2x is?
0.
0. What drops down on the left side now? Y. Now, thankfully, some of you guys are saying, how am I going to subtract 2 x's from 3?
Yes.
You can't.
-2.
You can't. You can't. You cannot take away something with a variable from a constant.
You add.
Guys, you can't do it.
Other way. Okay? No, not quite. Almost. Okay? Remember, guys, our formula has y is equal to a number x plus a number. So we want to just drop everything down and put them side by side. But we always want to put whatever has the x in the front, okay? Because that's what our form says, something x plus something. So this is a minus 2x, so we can write down negative 2x. This 3 is positive, so very good. It's a plus 3. We can't combine them. We just put them side by side,
You can subtract 3.
okay? No.
All right, yeah.
We cannot put them together. We just put them side by side. So now we have y is equal to something x plus something. So we have y equals mx plus b. Y is by itself. So now we have this in slope-intercept form. Are y'all okay with that? Does that make sense? So right here where it says equation in slope-intercept form, I'm going to write this part right here. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 3. We're gonna do more problems together.
You don't gotta worry.
Okay. Now that we have rearranged, everything else is just like we've been doing. What's our slope?
X.
Negative 2. Thank you. Negative 2. And if I want to write that as a fraction, what do I put that over?
Put that 2 over 1.
Over 1. And then b is the y-intercept, which is 3. And it's a positive 3 because it's a plus 3. Okay? Notice, if you had looked at this original equation, you might have guessed that 3 was the y-intercept, but you would have said that 2, a positive 2, was your slope if you didn't rearrange. So we got to make sure we get y by itself before we try to identify our slope and y-intercepts. Okay? And now that we have identified m and b, we can graph. What do we graph first?
Y-intercept.
The y-intercept. So 3. And that y-intercept is going to go where?
On the chart.
On the y-axis. Very good. On that y-axis at 3. So we're going up 3 and putting a point. up 3 and putting a point. And I know these grids didn't copy very well.
They weren't though.
So just look carefully. And if our slope is -2 over 1, that means we are going down 2 and right 1. Y'all are getting so much better at that. Okay. Can I do another point?
Yes. Just
Go down. And down how many?
Go down 2.
Go down 2 and over 1.
Wait, because then you say you have to have 3 dots.
Good. It is a negative slope, so it should be going downhill. I want you guys to do 3 dots because it gives you guys straighter lines. Y'all can do more. Technically, y'all only need 2, but Miss Cornet's mean and wants you to do 3.
My point.
Does this line go on forever and ever?
Yes, because it's transversal.
It's not a transverse. Well, no.
I mean, it is transversal because it's going through lines. So kind of right.
Hurry up.
Train.
Okay?
Train.
So again, I'm only teaching you guys one new step, and then everything else, we're just back to what we've been doing the past 3 days. So let's look at number 5. We're going to do 2 more easy-ish problems, and then we're going to do 2 hardish problems, okay? So number 5 says y plus x is equal to 3. So right below this graph, I'm just going to write y plus x is equal to 3 because I write too big to write this under the equation, okay? So y plus x is equal to 3. I cannot tell you what my slope is or my y-intercept is because this is not in slope-intercept form. What must be by itself? Y. Now there is something else on the left side of that equal sign though, and what is that? An x. Now that is how many x's though? 1x. I'm going to go ahead and write a 1x there. Okay? So we have y plus 1x is equal to 3. What do we need to get rid of?
Subtract 1x on both sides.
Very good. Subtract 1x on both sides. Because we want y to be the only thing on the left side of the equal sign.
Drop down the y.
And then
You also drop down.
Negative 1x into 3.
Very good.
Okay, I was going to say that, but you know this.
Okay, Jimmy, would you like to say it then?
No.
Okay. So, good, guys. We cannot subtract these. They are not like terms, so we're just going to drop them down. Negative 1x first, because we like to put the x's first, because y equals mx plus b. This is a positive 3, so we can write plus 3.
And then we would plot it.
Is y by itself?
Yes.
So is this in slope-intercept form?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to rewrite it on the line up here.
We're going to start with our y.
So y is equal to negative 1x plus 3. That's what we just got. I'm just rewriting it. Now, I don't have 2 little cute blanks for you guys to identify the 2 things we need to identify. So what are the 2 things we need to notice first?
Slope, intercept.
Good. Slope and y-intercept. What's our slope?
Negative
1, and it's make sure it's always by the x, and it has to be a fraction, so negative 1 over a positive 1.
And then our y-intercept would be 3.
Very good. And then our y-intercept would be 3. Perfect.
The lines on these graphs are non-existent.
Before I can go down and right, what do I have to do first?
Go to your y-axis.
Y-axis and 3, because our y-intercept is 3. Very good. Our slope is a negative, so we are going to go down 1 box, right 1 box. Negative 1 over 1. And I can do that again. Down 1 box, right 1 box.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it'll be cold again on Friday, so I won't have the air on blast.
It's freezing hot.
No, I mean outside, it'll be cold. So then it'll be warm in here.
It's freezing hot.
Wait, would you take go down 1 and go right 1?
Yeah, so when we have negative 1 over 1, it's rise over run. So this negative on top is the rise, so that's down.
Oh, it's the one's positive.
And the 1 on the bottom is positive, so that's right.
It's going to be my ruler.
If I didn't want to go down and right, what could I have done?
Up and left.
Up and left. Very good. Remember, we can do the opposite directions as well. Okay? Questions on number 5? Yep. So if I go up 1, left 1, am I still on the line? Okay. All right, number 6. So number 6 is still a fairly simple problem. So I'm just, again, going to copy it down at the bottom because I write too big. Y plus 4 is equal to 4 over 3 times x. Okay. This time, what's on the left side with y? A number, a plus 4. How do I move this number? Good, minus 4. Okay, we can't have a plus 4 here, so we have to take away 4 to get y by itself. So y is equal to 4 minus 4 is 0. Now this time is just kind of like the opposite of the last one because this time we're moving our constant, not our variable. And so it's already kind of set up. What has to come first on the right?
The negative 4.
No. That 4/3 x because these are attached to the x. So 4 over 3x. And very good. This is a takeaway 4, so minus 4. A takeaway. I know. We don't say that very often, do we?
Toys.
I like that.
Alright, now we would put it on the line.
Okay. Why? Why can I go ahead and put it on the line?
Because we already got it.
Why are we done?
We got the problem.
How do you know we're done?
Because it has a y equals.
Because it has just a y equals. Very good. So I'm going to copy this on my line. So y is equal to 4 over 3x minus 4.
You start.
Again, I like to write out m is equal to, b is equal to. And y'all are getting better at identifying these as well.
Your slope is 4/3.
Okay.
M equals to 4.
Hang on, Alicia.
And your y-intercept is negative.
Good. Our y-intercept is negative 4. Now, Alicia, what?
I thought that negative 4 would be in front of,
The minus 4 doesn't have an x. The negative 4 doesn't have an x. So remember, we put whatever has the x in the front. Because it's mx plus b. So number x plus a number. Or minus that number. Okay? Okay. So on this one, our first point's going to go where? On negative 4. So down 4. Okay? So there is a negative 4 down there, so that should be okay to find. Now our rise is how many? 4, and it's positive, so we're going up, and then right 3. So Caitlin, if we're down 4 and we have to go up 4, where are we going to end up at?
0.
0. Okay, so we're going to end up at 0 and then over 3. So right in between the 2 and 4.
And then you go up.
And then we can go up 4 again, so to the 4 and over 3. Well, that would be at 6.
I can't see that.
so it is possible.
Your test, well, I'll make sure you guys can have, your grids will be really good. Some of the ones that are on your assignments or notes don't copy very well, unfortunately. Yes, ma'am. You're tired?
Why is this class out?
Because of announcements.
And it's actually, I actually like having this class now.
Okay. Are we okay on number 6?
Yes. Well, there's already 2:30.
Okay.
We have 20 minutes. Yeah.
All right, guys. Number 7 is a little bit trickier. Okay, so I need y'all to stick with me on number 7. The first step is exactly what we've been doing, but we're going to have to do a second step, which is going to lead to some mistakes if you don't pay attention. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and recopy my equation. So 5x minus 2y is equal to 10. So I'm just copying my equation so I have more space down here. 5x minus 2y is equal to 10. I'm going to go ahead and draw my line. Now, Kyle, what is our first step? Why do we have to subtract 5x first? We want to get y by itself, and we want to move the x's first. We can't move this number until we move the 5x. So minus 5x on both sides. So just like we were doing.
Swap the 2y.
Very good. Well, what's with that y?
Negative.
Good. So negative 2y is equal to?
Negative 5x plus 10.
Awesome. Negative 5x plus 10. So remember, we put the x's in the front and then the constant in the back. Okay? So let me say something first, and then you can tell me what to do.
You can't put your y down.
Y is not by itself. There's still a negative 2 here. What is happening between this negative 2 and this y? It's multiplying. So, Kyle, we have to divide by
5x.
negative 2. Andrea, are you listening to me or are you just talking?
I think so.
Okay. So, y has this negative 2 attached to it. So to get rid of that negative 2, we have to divide by negative 2. Now, hang on, because here's something different than we've ever done before. Normally, we have something y is equal to something when we're dividing. But this time, we have 2 terms over here. We have a negative 5x, and we have a 10. So guess what?
10.
Both of them.
What?
Both of these terms have to be divided. So we're essentially dividing 3 times. So the negative 2y divided by negative 2, negative 5x divided by negative 2, and 10 divided by negative 2. Everything has to be divided.
Jesus.
Everything. We're also going to have another issue because some of y'all are very confident, which is awesome. Hang on. Y'all, seriously, because y'all are going to do something wrong, and I'm about to do something that's going to blow your minds, okay? Now, we're going to be okay on this left side. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is? Y. Stick with me right here. Okay? So, negative 2 divided by negative 2 is y. Right here is where we have issues, okay? We have negative 5 divided by a negative 2 with an x. Please explain to me when I have told you that it's okay to make slope a decimal.
That's not
Never.
1 over 2.
When is it 1 over 2?
No, you have to make it a fraction because the slope is...
It has to be a fraction, you're right, but it can't be a mixed number.
It's 5 over 2.
It's 5 over 2. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, and y'all, the fraction's already made for us. 5 divided by 2 is 5 over 2. You don't do any more calculations than you have to, okay? 5 over 2 is simply already there, and what has to go beside it? X. We can't forget about that x.
Negative 5.
It is, guys, this is positive again because it's a negative over a negative is a positive. Okay? And then our last term, positive 10 divided by a negative 2 gives us a negative or minus 5.
And we still need a y.
We have y.
So that's the thing.
Okay? So this right here is the only new extra step that I'm adding. Okay? And we'll practice another one of these problems. So I'm going to go up top, rewrite my equations. Y is equal to 5 halves x minus 5.
You start with your x-axis.
I'm sorry, what?
Your x-axis.
Your y-axis.
Wait, it's negative 5.
It is negative 5. You're right. But it still goes on the y-axis. It always goes on the y-axis.
I thought I was
What's our slope, Jimmy?
negative or 5.5.
Okay, good. M is 5 halves. B is negative 5. Our negative 5 is going to go on the y-axis. So we're going down 5. So in between negative 4 and 6.
I got them mixed up.
A little bit.
No, I thought the top was on x.
The hard
That's why I said the top. I knew it was on the bottom.
All right, 5 halves is our slope. So from our point, which direction are we going? Up 5 and
down.
over 2, right 2. Up 5, right 2.
I got the same thing, just a little bit.
Well, if I'm at negative 5 and I go up 5, that's at 0. Right 2 gives me 2.
I forgot to go over 2.
Yeah, don't forget the over 2. So up 5, right 2, up 5 more, which puts me at positive 5. Right 2 more puts me at 4.
Isn't this a positive slope?
It is a positive slope because our slope is positive and it's increasing. It's going up. Okay. Hey, Kyle, will you bring me a homework sheet?
Yes, ma'am, I got you.
Thank you. You would think I would remember that, but I never do.
This case.
Hang on, we're doing one more.
This case. Can you pause that so I can say something?
You've been recording for 21 minutes.
So on your homework sheet, okay, listen carefully. We are going to do number 3 together. Number 3, we are skipping 1, we are skipping 2, we are going to number 3. So when you look up and you're wondering where I got something, it's because we're on number 3. Okay? I had somebody be like, where did you get 6 from? And they were looking at number 1. So that would be why. All right, so on number 3, we have negative 5x plus 6y is equal to 30. Okay? Is y by itself on the left side? No. So can you guys tell me what the slope and y-intercept are? No. All right, we have to rewrite it. So we've got to move some things around. What do we always want to move first? The x's, okay? So this is a negative 5x. If this is a negative 5x, to move it this time we are going to add 5x. Remember, we have to do the opposite operations. So we are going to add 5x to both sides. I did not put my line because if I put my line, I'm not going to have room to write everything over here. Kyle, are you paying attention? No. Nope.
He's taking it in advance.
All right, so negative 5x plus 5x gives us 0. What do I drop down on the left?
Y, 6y.
6y is equal to, and then what order do I put these in?
5x plus 30.
Very good. 5x plus 30. Y'all are doing so well.
Thank you.
It's on.
And then don't you do like the 6, you have to put it like 30.
Well, if this is 6 times y, to undo that, we have to divide by 6. Again, what all has to be divided?
Everything. 5x divided by 6, 30 divided by...
Very good. Okay, so 6y divided by 6 leaves us with
6 is
y. Now, here is where we have to think this one through. 5x divided by 6 gives us 5 over 6 and x.
What about 30? What do you want with the 30?
Well, what's 30 divided by 6, honey?
I don't know.
Like,
It's like 5. Yeah.
what do we do with that?
Plus 5.
Ah.
Ow.
We're done.
That's not how I said, oh. I didn't
Okay,
say-
so we just divide everything. Remember, guys, we want our slope to be a fraction, not a decimal. Have you written all of this down?
Oh, I didn't see. I didn't write it.
Uh-huh.
I'm to measure.
And 30 divided by 6 is 5. So what is our slope here?
5 out of 6.
5 out of 6.
5 and 6.
5 over 6. What's our y-intercept? 5. And then thankfully these copied a little bit better. Where do we put our first point?
In the middle.
In the middle.
In the middle.
Why are you copying him? Don't copy. You've literally copied him, and don't do that.
I just did it.
Where does our first point go? 5. Am I going right 5?
I put it on the X side.
Oh, Kyle, how dare you? Y-intercept. We're going to go up 5. Okay? Notice, guys, instead of writing M and B, this time we have slope and y-intercept, so it might change. Okay? And then if our slope is positive 5 over 6, we are going which direction? Up 5 and over 6. And then I run out of room, so I can't do another point this way.
So go down.
So I want to come back to my original. And instead of going up and right, I can go down 5 and left 6. And we can see that these still have this nice line going.
Yes.
Okay, if you went down 5 and right 6, then we'd have some issues. We're not making a triangle.
Time to measure.
You're measuring?
Ruler.
You're rulering.
I'm the ruler.
Trying to ruler. All right? Any questions? Are y'all good?
I'm good.
No.
Did you say yes?
No.